With absolute certainty, predictions have to occur. Predictions are the result of extremely extensive Kabbalistic calculations leading to very exact results, or via travels into the future, either through technical means or by travels in consciousness, the future is explored. Predictions are based on the logical consequences of already firmly established facts, so that from their source and development, very exact effects have to result.
Prophecies, on the other hand, are variable and, as a rule, only have a warning function. The warnings are always of a negative form. If no action is undertaken in time to avert a prophecy, this then becomes a prediction, which inevitably must occur.
Looking at the statistics which the Plejaren have provided us with, we can quickly extrapolate our possible growth projections into the not-so-distant future. For example, if we continue at our current growth rate of approximately 100 million more people per year, then by the year 2050, we will be over 12 billion people, whereas the UN states that by the turn of this century, we will be slightly over 11 billion.
These ever-increasing numbers will be accompanied by a multitude of problems which we will not be able to solve. For example, food shortages, access to clean water, housing, ever-increasing demands for energy and resources, etc.
As a result of our unbridled population growth, the consequences to our environment are and will be nothing short of devastating. Not only will the lands get ever more polluted through the criminal use of toxic substances in agriculture leading to cancers, but plastics will increasingly work their way into the oceans and into the food chain. Also, due to the tremendous release of CO2 and other greenhouse gases, global temperatures will increase, along with droughts and storm intensification, wildfires, rising sea levels, etc.
Due to the ever-increasing melting of the polar caps, sea levels are expected to rise by several meters in the next decades, which will affect coastal populations of major urban centers. According to calculations, the rise in the sea level shall amount to around 45% due to the melting of inland ice, while around 55% of it shall be caused to the increase of temperature and the connected expansion of the ocean water.
The sea level is rising approximately 4.5 millimeters per year, but by the year 2100, the rise in the sea level will already have to be measured in meters.
Worldwide, if the sea level climbs only around a half a meter, then on the coasts, about 140 cities with more than 1 million human beings will be threatened.
Another factor to consider is the intensification of coastal storm surges as a result of the ever-increasing power of the tropical storms. With every degree of temperature increase, tropical hurricane intensity will increase by up to 35%. According to Billy Meyer's Contact Report 710, dated September 11, 2018, we had already increased our average global temperature by approximately 1.2 degrees Celsius.
Another danger that looms on the horizon is the threat of a major tsunami, which could cause widespread devastation to the east coast of North America and elsewhere. This is specifically due to the possible breaking off of a huge side of a mountain situated on the La Palma Island in the Canary Islands. The rock, which is very porous and contains moisture, could easily break apart if heated due to volcanic activity. According to Billy Meyer's 31st contact on July 17, 1975, with the Plejaren, they explained that the western part of the Cumbre Vieja volcano, the west flank, is extremely unstable and can slip into the Atlantic in the coming time and cause an enormous catastrophe.
According to the Contact Report 481, dated October 14, 2009, should the west flank break off, this would cause a giant tsunami, which could reach a height of up to 1,500 meters or even up to 2,500 meters or higher, depending on the mass and speed of the falling material as it slips from the flank of the volcano. Several waves of various sizes would speed through the ocean at 1,000 kilometers an hour to reach the coast of North America in approximately 8 hours, where it would cause the water of the Atlantic to rise up to a height of 100 meters and more, depending on the shape of the coastline, and to bury everything in its path.
Another concern is the San Andreas Fault, which according to Billy will inevitably cause much destruction. The quake will not only have a negative impact upon San Francisco, but also Los Angeles, San Diego, and various other places. On Wednesday, March 1st, 1978, Contact 104, Billy took a journey into the future, to the time of the actual event. Consequently, this event has to happen. There he viewed smaller cars with smoothly rounded corners, no external projections, so therefore no side view mirrors. Some of them had half glass or full glass cabin tops.
The foremost threat that has the potential to change our planet the way we know it and to bring forth a catastrophe like no other is the Apophis meteor. It is due to come very close to our planet and possibly strike us in 2029 or in 2036. The impact zone, if in fact it does strike the Earth, will be between the Black Sea and the North Sea. The following is how the Pleiadian in Contact Report 150 dated October 10, 1981, described the event should it transpire. Those who will not listen will find death in exchange when the meteor begins its work of death and creates a new continent due to an enormous crack of the Earth. Red-hot lava masses and earth gas, etc., will additionally create from it a deadly sulfurous wall, which as it drifts westward will cover the land and create an additional death zone, if the prophecy should actually be fulfilled in its entirety, and if the Earth humankind does not undertake something in unison to stop it.
In Contact Report 475, dated November 26, 2008, the Pleiadian describe Apophis as being about 350 meters in size. They say that our scientists must undertake every conceivable possibility to ultimately push the meteor from its orbit, whereby atomic explosions near the meteor should be considered because they are very efficient and will produce a strong drifting effect. The explosions, however, must not occur too close to the meteor so as to avoid breaking it up, from which an even greater danger would result. Such a project must be executed early and not at that time when the real danger starts to threaten, because otherwise it would already be too late for a success. Therefore, working towards deflecting it must be started today.
Should Apophis actually hit the Earth, the repercussions would be far-reaching. This would trigger other volcanic eruptions, not the least of which could be Vesuvius. Under this volcano, at a depth of approximately 8 kilometers, there is a huge magma lake which has a total area of 523 square kilometers, which even extends beneath the city of Rome. In Contact Report 230, dated October 11, 1989, it is explained that should larger masses of water or gas enter the magma sea residing underground, a tremendous explosion would immediately occur, the enormous pressure of which would partly melt its plug and cause the volcano to erupt along with the Stromboli and Etna volcanoes due to their deep connections, unleashing a catastrophe of enormous proportions. Finally, when choosing where to live in preparation for the coming times, these are some other factors to consider. Fuel costs will inevitably increase as supply diminishes. Therefore, food prices, heating, and gasoline will be ever more expensive. It is possible that we will even experience major energy shortages. Should extended blackouts occur, city residents would be particularly vulnerable, which would lead to stress and panic, especially for those stuck in elevators or dependent on medical equipment for survival. Hospitals, subways, traffic lights, communication, and other vital infrastructure would come to a halt, It is conceivable that this could trigger riots, looting, and a state of general lawlessness.
Another reason to avoid the urban centers will be the ever-present EM pollution and the soon-to-be introduced 5G networks.
In Contact Report 704, dated March 1st, 2018, Ta explains, by the switching on of more powerful transmission energies, these become always more health-endangering to the human beings, and indeed not only for those who use mobile communication devices, but also for all those who do not use such devices. At particular risk to health will be all human beings who have to live or work in the areas of such transmitters, because they will be harmed in various health respects, especially by the radiation from such transmitters.
Should one choose to live in the country, there are still other factors to consider. For example, staying clear of possible flood zones and unstable grounds prone to mudslides and avalanches, and staying clear of industrial facilities and nuclear power plants, of course. And if one plans to live near a forest or in a forest, give yourself enough space away from the trees in case of a fire. Make sure that you have several months of non-perishable food on hand. Finally, it's clear that if you grow your own food free of pesticides, live as self-sustainably as possible, have access to clean drinking water and wood for heating, you will be better prepared to navigate through the coming times.